Hello everybody. On a Monday. I've not been too good lately, so I haven't done a video. I put one out recently about sexuality, and after a couple of days I began to think, panic a bit, but thinking, was it okay or not? I have such doubts about these things at times, I don't know why. Anyway, so I took that one down, so I'm doing one now about dreams. Dreams are very important. As people say, oh, I don't dream, but everybody does dream, whether they remember them or not. And I always keep a pad by the side of my bed with a pencil, so when I wake up, I write them down immediately, because dreams always have something to tell us. They really come from the subconscious, unless you're going in for lucid dreaming, which is something you can do with consciousness. Usually it's the subconscious bringing up to our conscious mind things that need to be sorted out, or things that we're afraid of, or they're not always real, but they do bring a message, and it's as well to take note of that, because sometimes we don't know what's worrying us, but the subconscious will tell you. It's quite amazing. I had this dream yesterday, or day before. It shook me. I often wake up in a bit of a state after a dream. I'm crying, or, because some of them are quite profound. I don't usually dream of horror dreams. The dreams are usually quite deeply psychological, about family or things that have happened. Sometimes I dream about the future, but I don't trust that too much, because I think that the future can change. So it's best not to be too, oh, well, I dreamt this, or it's going to happen, sort of thing. But this dream I had was very strange, and I think I know what it means, but it was very, very profound. And I went to my hometown of Nottingham, where I was born, and I was aware that I was in the town. It was quite a busy Saturday, and I couldn't find a square. There's a big square there with lions and fountains, and I remember it from childhood. I don't very often go there, but I can remember it from childhood. And I used to get the number 31 bus. I was aware that I think there was somebody with me, a lady was with me, but I was on my own, more or less, and I was trying to find a square, and I kept asking people, where was the centre, where's the town, where's the centre of the town? And when you ask someone the way, they look at you, oh, we don't live around here. So that was no good whatsoever. Then I asked about a number bus, could I get this bus to my home bungalow where I was, my childhood, which was in Mapley. Anyone who's watching this who comes from the UK might know this. And I was feeling a little bit panicky, because I couldn't find anyone to help me. There were queues of people waiting at bus stops, and nobody knew the place I was mentioning. And on it went. And then I realised I hadn't got any money on me. I put my hand in my pocket. There was just a few coins, but my handbag was missing. I left my handbag, and then I began to panic. Where had I left it? There's my cards and everything in it. And on it went. I feel quite emotional just thinking about it. It was so real, and this lady, we eventually found somewhere to sit down. It was right on top of a battlement on a castle, and we could look right down over the earth, very, very high up. Now that was significant, I think, that I was obviously in my higher bit watching all this going on. So that was the first clue. But it went on for quite a while, and I think in the end I got so muddled in my head and so worried I woke up. And I thought, wow, that was some dream. And it took me all day to work it out. That obviously little things meant something, like not having any money. I don't have any money. I lose my handbag from time to time. I'm very careless. And not being able to get answers from anybody. That's one of my other fears, not even from spirit. I'm always saying, they don't talk to me. I really envy people who say, oh, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. I don't hear a thing. I get little buzzes now and then, but I don't get words. So I don't hear instructions, I don't hear directions, I don't hear where I want to go. And I got more and more frustrated not being able to find the bus to take me where I wanted to go. And on it went. And it wasn't until towards the end of the day I thought, oh gosh, that is all my fears in one short dream. It wasn't that long. It wasn't a lucid dream. I was obviously asleep, and I thought that was all my fears that had come up in one short space of time. I mean, really, I don't know how to solve any of them. I don't know. I just had to probably face them. I think the reality of the situation that I'm in right now, which is what I've just explained, and it is a bit scary because I don't have anybody either in my life to sort of rescue me. Things need doing, things need doing. I found a window cleaner the other day, but my garden's a mess. I can't get to do it. I can't find gardeners, so it's a question of like. I feel as though I'm on a desert island, to be honest. And I began to think, well, am I really Earthed? Am I really here? Because my life's been so very strange, earthly things. I'm not been wealthy. I've not managed. Well, I have. I've managed an awful lot of difficult earthly things, but I still don't feel I've accomplished anything, and I must have. I really must have. But the fear inside, all the doubts inside, were all being shown to me. And I thought, well, what could I have done without any money, or without a handbag, or without being able to get anywhere? I thought, well, I think I have had a dream before. I thought I must just have found a seat to sit down and just wait for something to happen, because I think things usually do if you don't panic. I don't know who I'm talking to who panics, but I mean, I think at times we all have these little mini panics, don't we? Of what else, what if, especially when you're here, and especially a woman. I've said this before, that to ask a woman of my age to cope on her own is asking a lot. We all need somebody in our lives. We all need somebody. If it's just a neighbour or a cousin or a man friend or somebody else's husband, which I tend to do, which gets me into trouble. So we all, women, more than men. I mean, I know we all get lonely. Men get lonely too, but they can go to the pub, can't they? And they can lift a heavy weight. And as I said before, they can go out and kill an animal. Well, they don't. But the principle's there. I think a woman on her own is extremely vulnerable. I've always said that, and I've been on my own for nearly 40 years now, totally on my own. No partner, no friendships, no companionship at all. The odd one comes and goes, and I have a friend that lasts a few days or a few weeks, but they don't last long. I sort them out and off they go. And it's a funny thing because I wouldn't say I'm one of these women that has to have a man in my life. I'm not desperate. I don't go chasing about. I used to do the online dating stuff, but that was a disaster. They're all a bit, especially at my age. Who wants a woman of my age? Although some men do like older ladies. I'm going off the track a bit here, but I've been asking for help, so I've got to say it. But I've been feeling very sort of. Everybody's got somebody, and so you can't really depend on anyone to be there for me. I've got a friend who does my computer, but he's not a friend that's there I can call at all times. But just recently I felt a little bit more safe is the word. I think that dream was really showing me that I do feel terribly unsafe. No money, no friendship, no bus, no home, all the things. I mean, it may not be true, because I have got a home, but it's not mine. But this feeling of not being safe, not being grounded, not being able to cope, not have the money to pay someone to do something if I haven't got any help. All that, when you really think about it, basically we do need money. Money is the root of all evil, but it's without money. I mean, all these mystics who sit on mountain tops and meditate all day, they haven't got to survive in the rain and the wind, and they're not practical, are they? They're living in a cave somewhere, and no doubt they don't mind getting wet and cold. But as humans, and I think this is it, I don't really think I've ever been human. That sounds silly. I've never been a woman. I mean, I look as though I am, and sexually I am, but I've had to be very masculine, very manly. And I think in these days we are meant to be integrating the two sides. We've got to be man and woman. We can't be one or the other. We have to get the sides balanced out. And I think all of my life I've been a man, intellectually, emotionally, and not physically, obviously, because that wouldn't work. I'd like to be a man, I really would. But it's just something I've had to sort of work out to be this masculine. And the men I've had have all been wimps. They've all had mother issues, or weak. I've had to look after them, take them out, buy them coffee. I know it was my fault. I know I attract them. My dad wasn't like that, actually. He was a pharmacist, very clever man, very together. But a lot of men I've met have been all kind of, depending on me for something, or not necessarily sexual, depending on, you know, being taken out, or they've never got any money. I meet they're down and outs, the lame ducks. I meet perverts, impotents. The hard ups, the drug addicts. I really, honestly, you would not believe it. So, just recently, I'm leading up to say, I'm going to have a drink of water. I live in a cul-de-sac. I mean, it's full of old people, but there's a couple of younger people, and there's a couple that live sort of not far away. I think he's a lorry driver, and every time I go for a walk round the field, not every time, but sometimes I come across him with his dog and we have a little chat. And I think he thinks I'm as old as his mother, though, because he talks about his mum quite a lot. But because he's friendly and he's really helped me with my computer a couple of times, he sort of said, not coming in, but he had a gadget or something, I forget what it was, and I thought, I suddenly feel, this is strangely psychological, I suddenly feel a bit safer, because there's a man, not in my life, but around. He lives sort of a few doors away. He carried my Christmas tree in for me. And I feel I could, if desperate, I don't know whether his wife might mind, although she does talk to me, we've had a lot of chat, but I could, if I needed something desperately, I hadn't got my car or something really I couldn't deal with, I know I could call on him. And I suddenly feel, maybe that's why this dream has come. I think when you've cracked one thing, something else comes along. It's quite bizarre, really. So I think I turned the corner on feeling, well, I can't depend on him, but somehow it's helped me to find my inner strength. I don't need that, but it would be nice to have somebody to sort of, you know, when I run out of bread or run out of milk or, you know, things, I would like to have someone to ring up, would you like to get this for me, or pop round for a cup of tea, or simple pleasures. Well, there we are. It's going to be a short video about dreams. I haven't mentioned lucid dreaming, which is what I do quite a bit of. I have breakfast about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't sleep much, as you know. And I go back to bed for an hour or two for healing and doing all the things I need to do. And I often go off to sleep. And that's when I do the lucid dreaming, because you're more aware of it. You are aware you're in control of it. And it's a bit like a deep meditation. But I won't go into that now because time's running out. Well, there we go, that's the dream. So take note of your dreams, no matter what peculiar things, write it down, think about it. There's always a message, and it's usually a helpful message. I don't go for prediction too much, but go for the messages you're being given personally in your dreams. It might be for somebody else even, but you know, the archetypes, the parents, I mean, all the peculiar women I dream about are representing my mother. It's quite incredible, actually, what you can learn from your dreams. Okay, I'm going to go now then, sweethearts. Take care.